It's even more because I remember before they were even Kiss, I would say hi to them, you know, working electric lady, they would come up and down the hallway and we'd say hi, whatever. And they had their first album, which went straight in the bloody toilet. We know all about that. And then I got the opportunity to do a demo with them, which got them their record deal. And from that point on, we had a really good relationship. You know, Gene and Paul, you know, we've been friendly over the years. And then, of course, when the live album hit, it just snowballed. And from there into the solo album, I feel like I'm part of that family. And I hope the fans enjoy what we have done as a family. This is a good bunch of folks who really appreciate each other. And hey, what can you say about Gene and Paul and Ben? They're brilliant.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but that's a great tie-in. I wanted, you know, over the years I've been lucky enough to work with these guys, but also become friends with them. And I was very good friends with Ace. And one thing, obviously, you mentioned earlier, and I wanted not to put you on the spot, but just see, even during the recording of a live or anything, his solo record, Trouble Walking, anything you worked on. I just want to say, because, you know, he told me many times and told my friends many times that you were his favorite producer, that you were his mentor, and that you were his dear friend. He said that to us many times. And, you know, I just wanted to see if you had some special story or just something in general about Ace, obviously.
Hey, Curly, how you doing? And he did say something quite, which I can't really say now because it's a little rude, but you know, I better not. I think we'll say that one. But let me give you a story that is pretty cool, and I think you guys will enjoy this. So we're doing his solo album. Now, Ace at that time was feeling a little bit insecure. We're at Plaza Sound in New York City, and we're about to do one of his first vocals. And Ace says, hey man, I can't stand up, I gotta lie down. So, okay, we gave him a pillow, put it behind his head, he's lying on the floor. I gave him a 57 to sing into. Okay, Curly, start like that. Okay, when you feel a little bit better, you can maybe stand up a bit. So he goes through the first track, and we record it, and it's not bad. Curly, you feeling a little stronger now? Yeah, I'm fine, Sean, no problem. Okay, and as he started singing, we kept doing like 4, 5, 6, or 7 more performances. I'm feeling better. Now he's sitting up, and I gradually, by the time he did the final vocal, he was standing up, holding onto a mic stand, the dealer, and singing, and that's when he felt really comfortable. Yay, Curly, we love you.
So guys, I appreciate you too. So we've got into the last 15 minutes. What we wanted to open up to the crowd and take some questions. If you guys are good with it, Jeff? Yep. Do we have a mic out here? Somebody roaming around with it? First of all, we have any questions?
Mike's floating around there.
Right over here.
I thank you for the Atmos. I love those Atmos mixes. Hotter than hell. Is there anything you can do? Hotter than hell. Is there anything you can do to clean up that muddy sound? A lot of people complain about it. It's my favorite album. It's just a question about that.
Oh, I'm sure there will be. I mean, it's not one that we've put our intentions to work on in the near future because we've just sort of passed that 50th anniversary, right? And unfortunately, a lot of that has to do with the fact that the band and Pop House, you know, we're going through their deal terms basically, and everything just kind of had to go down to a halt naturally and understandably. The band wanted to preserve as much value of their catalog and everything. So, you know, we unfortunately missed that, but we will definitely at some point, you know, be able to go back in and maybe, yeah, have some fun, you know, playing with a new stereo mix and stuff like that. Because, yeah, we've had plenty of projects. God, I was almost about to reveal one that hasn't even been revealed yet. Yeah, it's not Kiss related, but yeah, we do this a lot where we'll, you know, if we listen to an album and we feel like a new stereo mix could be fun. We don't ever want to get rid of the original stereo mix for the purists, for the diehard, for the person who loves what it was. But, you know, let's add a new mix to the equation because there are fans out there that appreciate that. And there are times where, yeah, an album does have its limitations based off of, you know, maybe when it was maybe who put it together, whatever the dynamic is. But yeah, we can definitely have, go visit something.
I think Ace would have said, hey man, clean up on aisle 7. Let's get this record sounding better. Sorry, I'm an Ace fan.
There's nothing wrong with that. We're all Ace fans, right?
I'm just wondering if any of Kiss Masters were affected in the Universal fire in that
Not one.
2000.
Oh, well, no.
They were all stored at the Iron Mountain facility. And actually, as Kiss is recorded by Mercury Records, all the tapes before that were located in the Fura facility. So Kiss was never on the West Coast. And there is something to be said about a lot of what's been talked about for that particular incident. It's astonishing how many copies of recordings were actually collected, not the originals. And pretty much a vast majority of our most prized artist recordings were already moved to the Iron Mountain facility in Pennsylvania. So a lot of it was digital tapes, which essentially I could take a CD and make the exact same digital tape again. So the media really attempted a gotcha moment that people blew out of proportion a lot more than it needed to be. So none of the Kiss tapes were affected.
I'd like to ask how about Kiss Alive on November 9th, 1975 on My Radio Station when around the time they were playing and recording Kiss Alive. I consider Kiss Alive a concept album, and in fact I think it's the greatest concept album ever made, and I want to know if Eddie Kramer considers it a concept album.
I'm not sure if you call it a concept album. I think Jeff made reference to the point about how the album was put together. At that time in the industry, live albums were looked upon as the, not so commercial, not so great, it's not going to do much for us. But I think the fact that Gene and Paul had this concept of how to do this album and make it sound as great. And I remember, here's what I'll tell you a little story about mixing process. We had finished the album, and Gene and Paul took back acetate, which would be acetate you take back in those days to your home, you listen to it, and they came back into the studio, and both Gene and Paul said, this one side we really want it bigger, and I'd already with tons of money, so we want more. So we went back in and literally remixed that whole side, and I punched the audience really hard. So from that perspective, it was a work of art in their brains that had to be right for the fans. They were delivering this product to the fans so that they felt that they were enjoying it as if they were there.
Capturing the energy that the fans at that time were experiencing on stage in the live environment, just on a record.